All right. Well, let's see if I have to go do something to make this live. I do. So I have to give it a title. So this is going to be equipment check live stream. And then the description is how fun. Yeah. All right. Let's see if that is that enough. Let's see. All right, going live. Let's see. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up my it says we're live. Meg, I think we're live.
We are live.
So for anyone who's catching us live, Meg and I are doing an equipment check live stream for lunch today. Meg, I should have told you to bring lunch. I didn't even think about
I know,
that.
I didn't think about that.
Oh, my bad. So how you been?
I've been good, been
Good.
busy.
Yeah.
Lots of
You've been
stuff
in the
coming
parks a
up.
lot.
Been in the parks a lot. We're now all halfway through August, which is crazy, but I feel
That
like,
is crazy.
yeah, it's like the last couple weeks have been a blur because I had the end of July was when my family was in town. So I had my aunts, my two cousins, all from Pennsylvania down. So that was exciting. We got to do the parks. We did Typhoon Lagoon one day. So
Good.
that was good.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
live stream phone call there.
Live stream phone.
All right. Hey, yeah, it's like, hey, you're live on the air. What would you like to say? Yeah, there it is.
That's funny.
That's hilarious. You know what? Okay. All right. We won't read text live. How was your trip? Your family's trip? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was very
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, we got to catch up. It was my cousin Kyle, his first time to be down here since the family moved and see
That's your
just
favorite.
where
Is
we're
that your
at.
favorite?
And
Yeah,
he
I thought
hadn't, in
so.
general, been to Disney in a couple of years, so that was exciting. Got them on Guardians. Guardians was the big hit. Yeah, that was the takeaway. And I said they're my lucky charms
That's
for
awesome.
September because when I had my cousin Katie came down last year
That's
was the
awesome.
one and only time I had ever had September. And I ride that ride
Oh, okay.
fairly
Okay.
often when I go
Another
over to
trip.
Epcot. And it's just crazy that it had been almost
That'd
an
be
entire
nice.
year since I then had September again. And it's the best song that everybody wants to get. It's my favorite. Yeah. September's absolutely my favorite. So it was crazy. I said my cousins are my good
I
luck
agree.
charms because we wrote it twice while they were here in town and both times got September. So I've only ever had it when I'm with my cousins. So they are literally my September good luck charms, but they loved, yeah, Guardians was hands down their favorite ride. We didn't get to Tron. We have to save that for another time. Hopefully, I think they're coming back down maybe in December, which would be exciting. So we said that time we'll have to prioritize getting to Magic and getting them on Tron. But so far, yeah, Guardians is their favorite, which I think Guardians compared to Tron is still my favorite. I like Tron, don't get me wrong, but Guardians is that's where it's at for me. Yeah. Hmm. Catch up. Nothing. All right. Ominous voice. You're so you're back. That is so exciting. Oh my gosh, I'm jealous. I'm very jealous. Oh my goodness, that's a gorgeous resort. It's been years since I stayed there, but I have stayed there before. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I love that's like the one resort that I remember the first time I stayed there and coming from a Disney World family, trying to then explain to everybody, like, oh, the hotel is literally next to California Adventure Park, and people think like, oh, like the way Contemporary is to Magic Kingdom. And like, no, 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 like literally, if you were to throw something off the balcony, like it would be in California Adventure. Like that's how close you are. Yeah, and that's yeah, not that we advertise that, but proximity wise, you cannot get any closer. I think it's like literally the park that is the single most like closest to getting into any Disney park. So it's very unique. Hi, Libby. So, Bruce, tell me, are you with your Disneyland reservation? So you said you're going to Lamplight and Storytellers. Have you been to either of them before? Or are they first? Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, that one's amazing. I love World of Color. Very well done. And yeah, you like Lamplight Lounge. I was there in 2019. It was when I went out for D23 that year, and we ate at Lamplight, and it is so good. You have to get the lobster nachos. They are like the fan favorite. Yes, those are, it's a must to get those. It's a must do. You have to get, send me a picture of those lobster nachos. Oh, my favorite difference. Oh gosh. So I'm a big like Disneyland fan. That being said, I now, I live here in Florida. Like Disney World's always been what I've considered my home park. This is the one I grew up going to the most. So like I always have a soft spot for Disney World. But that being said, Disneyland has so many unique things. And I think the biggest like positive takeaway for me out there is that it's the original. And it sounds very cliche, but as a Disney fan, it's like just being able to stand like in the specific spot, like behind Sleeping Beauty Castle, and line up the picture of where that iconic photo of Walt Disney walking in his original park, like to line up where that was actually taken. It's just, you don't have that aspect at World as much, whereas there's so many pieces of Disney history that I'd say if you're a Disney fanatic, like many of us are, if you get out to Disneyland, that's the thing that it's just you could spend so much time just focusing on those aspects of the history that that park holds. I love that. Also, a lot of their attractions, like I always have said, as much as I love Magic Kingdom here, I would love to almost like plop Disneyland Park down on top of our Walt Disney World Magic Kingdom because I think it has better attractions. Like their Fantasyland is actually my favorite land out there. Which it's funny that like there's so many similarities between Magic Kingdom and Disneyland, but here at Magic Kingdom in World, I like Adventureland the best. But actually, in Disneyland, Fantasyland is my favorite land because they have so many additional attractions. And when you go, you realize it's crammed into such a tiny space. But what they're able to do out there and make the use of the, small bit of real estate that they have, they really put a lot of attractions in there. And it's amazing. I like they have Mr. Toad's Wild Ride still out there. Like just a lot of like classic Disney nostalgic things out there. The storybook canal boats, that right there is I think one of my favorite, like all-time favorite Disneyland attractions. So there's just a lot of unique things that we don't have here at Walt Disney World. Oh no, did we lose Bruce? I can't see the comments either. I have to get on Facebook and see if I can see the live stream, see who's here. Let's see. Okay, there we are. We have... Trying to see if I can find the comments. I see Carla, Libby, hello. 407 has some exciting things coming up soon too, which is very exciting. There's I don't know if it's been publicly announced, but there's an exciting something happening. I won't say that much. I think it's been announced, but this next coming month is going to be a big 407 month, so we're very excited. Something that I haven't done in years, so it's going to be good. It's going to be very good. Here comes Bruce.
Hey,
there he is.
I don't know. Now the camera shut off,
Oh no.
and it kicked me out of the video. So now I'm back on the webcam. So the joys of testing live, right?
The joys of testing live, yes.
So, I was here. I was able to listen to what you were saying about Fantasyland out of Disneyland, and I agree. There's a certain level of like whimsy to it,
Yes.
with the teacups being where they are. Alice in Wonderland, some of the older attractions, Mr. Toad, Snow White. That I agree that certainly has a really good feel to it.
Yes.
Out of
It's like
Disneyland.
the atmosphere itself of just walking around out there. I really love the layout of the Disneyland park. And I think
Yeah.
they do have more details out there in a way. Because they really, like I said, make use of it's a very small space, but it's like just everything is condensed magic. Like everywhere you look, there's something.
Yeah. I totally agree. I wanted to ask you, am I still here?
You are here, yes.
Okay. I feel like I have to check. You've been in the parks a lot recently.
I have.
And what's that?
I have, yes.
Yeah, okay. And I want to talk about your firsthand experience with crowd levels. Are the parks crowded? From my experience, I've been there quite a bit the last few weeks. Well, I guess last month. And it kind of ebbed and flowed. A couple of days were incredibly busy at Magic Kingdom, but the other parks seemed to soften up a little bit. But it seems like every bit of maybe Disney news, if you want to call it that, on Twitter or other news sources want to say that the parks are totally dead and that there's just nobody there. So what's been your experience being in the parks like every day?
So I have to say, there's definitely, it ebbs and flows. Like I've tried so many times. I actually have a couple of videos on the channel where I'm like going over and attempted investigating this. I think I called it failed rope drop video on my channel of going to Magic Kingdom because yes, that was the thing is every media outlet, every news channel out there is basically putting out this, oh, there's nobody going to Walt Disney World right now. And I feel like there could be a layer of that's true, that it's like compared to years past, there's not maybe as many people traveling here, but also there's a couple things that, you have to think like attractions that are down right now, areas that are completely down being constructed on, like you look at Epcot, like basically the entire center section of the park is a big crater, as they call it, as things are still getting construction. So you kind of have people pushed out into different sections of the park. The crowds aren't as well dispersed, I would say. So I think you have some elements like that going on that can make it feel more crowded, maybe even if the numbers have dropped off. But that being said, I really do see that when you get into the park, and my biggest thing is the wait times to tell, is it crowded here? And there have been a lot of, high waits, especially Magic Kingdom. I think Magic Kingdom is the one park that even when everyone says, oh, it's dead here, it still is crowded. That's just, if you only have one day in Disney, I feel like you go to Magic Kingdom. So that's forever going to be the crowd park. But I've hit a lot of evenings where I've been in Epcot, a lot of evenings in Hollywood Studios where I've been able to walk on attractions with 10-minute waits, like really big attractions like Rise the Resistance, hitting that at a 10-minute wait. So I think that it really does ebb and flow. It's one that I've been trying to wrap my head around and figure out what is going on with these crowds, but
Right.
it really depends on, I think, the day that you go and specifically the park. Like Magic Kingdom seems like it's always insane.
Yep.
It is interesting though, now that we've gotten into fall, quote unquote. It's crazy saying
Disney
we're
fall.
in Disney fall. Yeah, it's crazy saying that we are in fall when we're still in beginning to middle of August.
Right.
But now that the Halloween party has started at Magic Kingdom, I was just there it was opening night of the Halloween party. I didn't attend the opening night of the Halloween party, but I went to Magic Kingdom during the day. And it was the best Magic Kingdom day that I've had in a while. Actually, I vlogged this day as well. It's on my channel. I was so amazed I was able to get so many things done, only being in the parks for, I think I was there like 3 hours. And I did at least like 5 attractions. And they were like the bigger attractions: Jungle Cruise, Big Thunder Mountain, Haunted Mansion. So that really right there, I think is going to be a big tip for people coming, if you're coming either in the fall or if you're coming around Christmas time. And if it's a party night, whether it be Halloween party or the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas party, going to Magic Kingdom on a party night is always a good way to get a low crowd day, because the park shuts down earlier for the after hours special ticketed party. So you really can, if you want to go ahead and use your day ticket to go to Magic Kingdom during the day on those days, you can get some really, really good rides done with not having to wait long.
Yeah, that's been my experience as well. Magic Kingdom, crowd levels are going to be higher there than at some of the other parks. I've walked in Epcot, been around like Morocco, Japan, America Pavilion, and been like one of 15 people. Or, Food and Wine starts, or you're over at the Magic Kingdom and it's, filled with people. So I think some of the reports that the crowd levels are just non-existent and like no one's in the parks, I think that's a little bit misleading. It is softer. It is a little bit more, manageable than maybe last summer when there was a big travel boom and people were going to the parks. But like, I just don't want like clients to show up and then be like, well, the news said that there was nobody here and it's a 45-minute wait for most attractions.
Exactly.
There's still people there. It's just crowds are a little bit less than what they have been in the past. That's how I would categorize it. But yeah. So, favorite attraction right now is Guardians.
That is my favorite attraction right now. It's that and Living with the Land. Depends. I need different levels, It's like just my classic happy place ride, and then thrill level impressive attraction. It's definitely Guardians. I was thinking about this the other day compared to like the big ticket rides, which I would say right now is Flight of Passage, Tron, Rise the Resistance, and Guardians. Those are all like those top tier rides. I think out of the big guys, Guardians is hands down my favorite ride. It's just every time I ride it, I can even ride it back to back, and it's just still, you get just as excited.
Let me ask you a question. This is very specific for you. What would it take for, what type of attraction would it have to be to top Living with the Land for you?
Oh, geez. Okay.
Like,
some type
will
of
that
a
ever move
people
off
mover.
the top of your list?
It would have to be some type of a people mover through Epcot. Because I always think that like when you ride the Epcot monorail in, and it goes by so fast, and you just, you're seeing those views of Epcot, and I'm like, if you could have a people mover type attraction as you have in Magic Kingdom that goes at a slow moving pace, it's like a nice long, almost like 10, 12-minute journey. And if you could somehow just like go like around the World Showcase pavilions or maybe even through part of Future World, which is now World Nature, World Celebration, like that area, that would be so cool. It'd probably fit the best in that area to go with the futuristic feel.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
that
like
would be
that.
the thing that would top
That would
Living with the
top
Land
it.
for me. And
Okay.
I think that's why I like Living with the Land is it's that nice. I call it the people mover of Epcot because it's your sit down. You know that it's a nice little AC break for 10 minutes or so that you just get to
Yep.
relax. You're looking at things. It's peaceful. So it's similar to the people mover for me. So the only thing that could top it would be if we would have an actual people mover in Epcot.
Okay. I like that. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I'm certainly here for that.
Yes. Yes, so that's been something that's been fun to edit back through the last like week here because like I had mentioned in the beginning of, well, end of July, beginning of August, I had my family from Pennsylvania back in my hometown. They came down for a Disney trip. So we went to Disney a couple of the days. We did a 1 day park ticket for the entire family and we all went together. And then me and my cousin Kyle had a Disney day in there as well. And then me and both my cousins went to Typhoon Lagoon for a day. We did a lot of like Disney Springs and kind of Disney resort type activities. So there was a lot of, Disney kind of centric content. And I got a lot of videos out of that. So I actually have the past couple of videos that have been on my channel have all been from that family vacation. Just last night, I uploaded the day that I call like our big Disney day, which was us going to Epcot as a big family group, riding Guardians and getting their reactions to that. We went to Via Napoli for lunch. Got to do just like a lot of like our favorite things. Soarin' has always been a family favorite, so that was special to get everybody back on that together. So we had a really good Disney day that day. Got to introduce my cousin to the Skyliner for the first time, and took him to get a Joffrey's coffee at Caribbean Beach, which is like my favorite coffee on all property. So got to have a lot of moments like that. So that was the most recent video, and then the next one that will be going out probably tomorrow is we have one more like Disney family vlog when they were here from the trip, which is a Disney Springs evening. So we did dinner at the Boathouse, which is another family favorite. We all love the Boathouse. It's like our go-to spot. We did that and then went to a bunch of the shops around Springs. And that's going to be kind of the conclusion of the family trip. But then after that, I actually flew back up with my family to my hometown for a week and got to do some Lancaster County, Pennsylvania type videos. I went to Dutch Wonderland, which is a theme park, very small theme park up there. But that was really cool because it's definitely more like a kids park. So I had not been there since I was maybe 8 years old. So it was a long, long time. Like I had forgotten most of what it looked like in there. But it was cool being back and kind of having like walking around, having childhood memories like come back to me. And it's a very cute, well done little theme park. So it was neat to get to go back now as an adult and get to vlog it and kind of document it for my channel and have that experience. And then I also did something that I'm really excited to share and put together because it's very relevant in the Disney community right now with the Haunted Mansion movie just came out. I actually went to Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. Yes, which Oh my gosh, it was so cool. So yeah, if you don't know, Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania is this random town. It's literally up in the mountains, the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania. So it's about 2.5 hours from like where I grew up. So it's a hike to get up there, but it's a really cool, very historic town. And what's significant about it, this random Pennsylvania town to the Disney community, is it has the Harry Packer Mansion. And that mansion that is there, it dates back to the 1800s. It was the architectural influence that the Disney Imagineers, when they were scouting, looking for a mansion to use as the architectural influence for Florida's mansion, for the Haunted Mansion, they settled on the Harry Packer Mansion, and you can actually go and visit it. It is a bed and breakfast that exists to this day, and it is just the coolest thing to be there as a Disney fan and to like stand there and look up at it like it's the mansion. It's not exact, but there is, you can tell, like if nobody would tell you like, oh, this was the influence, like you would, as a Disney fan, you would stumble upon it and say it's the Haunted Mansion. Like, how did I end up here? Like it's very noticeable, down to like the colors of the bricks. The color of the brick is like almost exact, and the porch has like that almost like grayed, like marble, faux marble look almost to it around the front. Like that, even down to the color, looks exact as like what you see when you're in the queue line and you look up at the porch. And the turrets on the top are like pretty much exact to what you see in Florida at the mansion. So it was really cool to get to go there again. So I had been there once before, and it was actually right before I moved to Florida, almost 2 years ago, believe it or not. So that was my one thing that I wanted to do prior to moving down here, because I was like, oh, this is a Pennsylvania thing that I should experience before I move out of this area. So I never really anticipated to go back, but which as soon as I went there for the first time, I was like, this is so cool. Like, I want to come back here. So it was a perfect opportunity. I was up visiting family, and me and my friend decided, we're like, let's go up there and we're gonna go see the mansion again. And it was incredible to go back again now, especially with being in the parks more often and kind of having that vision of the mansion in my head more, and getting to really, like, I stood there for a long time, like with pictures on my phone of what I took in Florida and like looking and comparing and really getting into it. But it was neat because when I went to the mansion prior, it was, I visited in the winter. So it was, we sat like inside. You can go inside because it's a bed and breakfast, and they have a lounge in there. So I had gone with some friends and we went in and like sat down and had a drink inside the mansion, which was very cool. But now that I went, this was in August this month. So we're in summertime up there, and they actually had the outside porch open. So we got to sit up on the porch of the Haunted Mansion and have a drink. And I don't know why, but that just felt even more real to me. Like, oh my gosh, I'm like in this iconic place, because it seriously is like what you see in the queue as you're waiting to go into the mansion. And it was just very much a surreal moment. So it was amazing. I'm gonna be editing that video together here soon for this next coming week. Yeah, once I start posting my Pennsylvania travels, but it's gonna be a fun one to put together. I also the other day went to Magic and kind of filmed some side by sides to actually compare in that video. Yes. So exactly. So it's going to be really cool to put that one together for sure. Of both, yes. So my theory on this was, yeah, the Haunted Mansion was down between, it was like, I know it was the week I was in Pennsylvania. I think it was like August 7th to the 11th, something like that. It was just down for a short 3, 4 period length of days. And that was when everyone like was anticipating, oh, they're doing maintenance, renovations to it. Like that's when the Hatbox Ghost will probably appear because that's what everyone just in the Disney media has been talking about. They have the Hatbox Ghost out in Disneyland. They've had him for a number of years out there, so it's always been a speculation that it's going to come here to Florida. So when the mansion opened back up, a lot of people, rushed there the very next day to get to ride it and hope to see the Hatbox Ghost, and he was not there. But what is interesting is there is this one section of the mansion that when you go through, it's right when you see the hallway with the candelabra that's floating. Right there, there is a black curtain. And you can like very obviously tell there's something behind it. There's work lights that you can see like almost beaming out from behind that area. It's kind of illuminating that whole section there. And it's just very obvious that there's something back there. So that's what has people hopeful that Disney didn't forget about it. They didn't, just do like, oh, we touched up some paint here and here and we're not adding anything new. So people know that it's coming, but my thought is that it's clearly, I think Disney in an ideal situation wanted it to be ready during that, 4-day closure and everything was going to open and be perfect. But I think there must be some technical difficulty behind the scenes that we don't know about. The other speculation was, yes, then that they would have it up and running for the Halloween party when that began. But then that's come and gone and they still have not had it. So I think it's more so a not just Disney trying to do a cool reveal. I think it's just that it's not working at the moment. That would have been perfect, yeah. Yeah. Right, yeah. Justify that. Right, right. Well, have you seen yet I have a couple different, I like this question because I really haven't thought about this myself, but I will ask you, have you seen yet the live action movie that just came out? Okay, because that could potentially actually answer the question. Um, I it'd be more so a theory, so I wouldn't exactly spoil. I could tell you if you want, like it would not spoil the movie. I don't think it would. Yeah, fast forward through this little part, but basically the Hatbox Ghost, like I wasn't expecting this, but he has a very vital role in the movie. He's like kind of one of the main bad guys, if you will, which I didn't think about that either. I kind of thought he was just like going to be like any of the other characters, kind of a happy, friendly ghost, but he's kind of the main bad guy, and it's kind of him who is collecting the souls. He's the one who needs the 900, or he needs the 1,000 souls to complete his mission. So I don't think that he himself would be counted as needing the 900. He wouldn't need, because he's not, he needs 1,000, so he wouldn't be one himself towards the count. So that kind of, if you see the movie storyline, I think it can justify that one a bit. Right. 1,000. Right. Uh-huh. Yeah. And I really enjoyed the movie. That's actually part of my Haunted Mansion video. It was actually the day after we went to Jim Thorpe, we then went and saw the movie in theater. So it was a very much like Haunted Mansion themed day. Yes, a couple of days. And then I gave my movie review in that vlog as well, like part of going to see the real life Haunted Mansion and then watching the Haunted Mansion. So the timing of it all worked out very well that the movie was in theaters. But I really enjoyed the film itself. Was I thought very good. Yeah, it's very good. Goer. Oh yeah. Oh, they're so different, like so different. I think this one, while and I should also preface that I'm not a big like horror person. Yeah, I'm not really like a scary movie watcher person. So I'm going to say though that this movie is scarier, but somebody like me who's not a horror person, like I would not go as far as saying that in any way this is a horror movie. So it's but it's definitely darker. The storyline is darker, a bit spookier. That's a good word for it. It's spookier than the Eddie Murphy Haunted Mansion movie. I think that one will still always have a special place in my heart for the nostalgic factor. And I just really enjoy that movie. That one is classic in my mind. I can remember seeing that movie before my first trip ever to Disney. And that was what made me want to then ride Haunted Mansion as my first ride that I experienced. So I love that Murphy version. But this one I think was just very different. It's a completely different vibe and feel. But I also enjoyed it still did have the comedy. Like you have Danny DeVito, Owen Wilson, like they're phenomenal in this film. Like it definitely had just as many like laughs, I would say, as the original one did, the Eddie Murphy version. Yeah, it was very much all over the place. You had that spooky element, you had the kind of lighthearted comedy. So it was a movie that you see in theaters and you just kind of thoroughly enjoyed it from start to finish. It was very good. It is, yes. I'm so excited. I was glad you brought that up because I think during one of our moments where you got off camera, you disappeared, and I was keeping the chat going. I mentioned that, and I was like, but I was like, oh wait, has it not publicly been announced yet that people are coming? So I was just like, oh, we're doing something really cool that I haven't done in years. So yes, that would be what I was referring to. So I'm so excited to go back to Universal because I've only ever been once in my life to Universal Orlando, and it was in 2019 for just a quick like day trip. So I have so much of that park, both parks, Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure, that I have not experienced, and I'm excited to like get out of my Disney bubble and broaden my horizons. I think it's going to be really exciting. And something else, I want to plan to go to Halloween Horror Nights because I've had a lot of requests to do that. And like I said, though, I'm not a horror person at all. So it's going to be exactly that it will be entertainment if nothing else. So yeah, me and Gina were actually talking about that the other night. We were texting and she said also she's never been before. So I think we're gonna try to go. I forget which one of the nights it is, but yeah, we're coordinating that. Oh, you're doing all of them. There. Have you been before to Horror Nights? And yeah. Hmm. That's kind of how I feel about it. Yeah. Yeah. That's that's awesome. Oh yes, yeah. I'm excited for it for that reason too, because I've had a lot of people that I've met, like that's been the one big thing, like now living down here in Orlando, it's like you don't realize how much of a icon Halloween Horror Nights is. Like people I know in my life that aren't even necessarily theme park people, like they're not like me going to Disney every spare minute that they get. Um, People like that are always like, oh, it's not Halloween season unless I've gone to my Halloween Horror Nights event. Like, just so many people love this event and look forward to it. It's such an icon. And I've similarly like, talked to people that are told me, like, oh, yeah, I'm not really a horror person, or I don't usually, enjoy that. But yet they're huge fans of Halloween Horror Nights. So I've definitely been so curious about it. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be, if nothing else, it's going to be extremely entertaining video content of me going through my first scare zone. It's going to be very amusing. Oh yeah, yeah, we're gonna need like I'm gonna need a big group, like support group around me that I can hide behind a lot of people. Oh, I'll be the leader. Okay. Me too, yes. Oh, fun. I do. I'm actually going in September, so next month. I forget the exact date, but it's after our Universal trip. So it's like the kind of like end of September timeframe, and I'm going with some friends, and we're very excited about it. Yeah. So I'm actually planning to dress up again this year. I've dressed up a few times in the past, but I've done, so I went one time with a group of friends that we all did. This was the year that Star Wars Land opened, Galaxy's Edge opened. So we all went as Star Wars characters. So I was Rey. And that was just really fun. It was fun doing like a big group costume because, like, I mean, people just see you walking down the street and like everyone recognizes like what you're doing. So that was really fun. What else have I done? Trying to remember all my different ones. That was a big one. I had gone with some people and we did Inside Out characters one year. So yeah, the group ones are always like a very fun one. This year, I not like official yet, but I think I'm doing some type of a Disney princess. I'll keep it, yeah, under wraps, but I've experienced both versions of going to a Mickey's. I almost said Halloween Horror Nights. No, a Mickey's Not So Scary, where I've done the costume thing, and then I've also gone where I've just kind of been in a festive Disney Halloween shirt and just like, yeah, that's typically the past couple years I've done that route. But it's definitely you get a different, experience. It's then kind of fun to focus on. You're taking a lot of group photos and pictures, and it's a different, type of celebration. So both are fun for their own reasons. Yeah. You're not gonna dress up? No? Especially if you go on Halloween night, that's a perfect. Yeah, maybe. We should make a poll. We should make a Instagram poll of people could submit what Bruce should go as for the Halloween party. There you go. Disney bounding. That's actually, so yes, I should also preface the costume that I'm kind of planning would be more so considered a Disney bound because some people go all out and you almost could like mistake them for the real, Cinderella, real like Disney princess. But I think what I would be doing would definitely be considered a bound. Like we're in 100-degree heat index. We're not doing a full costume. Oh, that's a different. Do people do that? Is that like I've not been to a Halloween Horror Night, so is that like a thing that people kind of get dressed up? Okay, kind of bounding. Yeah. Okay. Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Are we? Is this quick service or table service or it could? Okay. Okay. So recently, having my family down here, we went to Via Napoli when we had our Epcot day together, and that was one of the best like meals that I've had recently in a Disney park. I've always loved Via Napoli. It's always kind of been one that I will come back to time and time again, but really just like this most recent time there, I was like sitting there and realized I was like, oh, this is just like such a nice little break in the day. It's like I love just how authentic it is in there. They're so cool. It's just such a neat, experience that you kind of forget for a minute you're in Epcot. So Via Napoli's one, and I think it's a great one for families too, because going with a big group, we all got a couple of pizzas that we split up amongst ourselves, and everyone got to kind of try a bit of each variety that we got. So it was a really good one. And yeah, that made me kind of like re get a new love for that restaurant. So Via Napoli's one. Also, I just went for my birthday this week over to Tep for my birthday dinner, which that was another one I hadn't been to in a couple years and had that same like, oh my gosh, I need to not wait years to get back here again because it is so good. Every time I've gone, I've always had an incredible meal. Both the main course as well as just like they give you the undan noodles that the chef is preparing right there in front of you, which are incredible quality. And you're getting the show element as well of it being the proper hibachi experience. You're watching the chef cook your meal right in front of you. And it's just another one that is so unique that once again, I was like sitting there thinking, you'd forget for a minute this is like in Epcot. And I oftentimes, with the festivals always happening in Epcot, I feel like I've kind of neglected the restaurants, like the sit down restaurants in that park. But Epcot really has it going on for food. So that would be my suggestion of anyone coming on vacation to maybe have one of your Epcot days, even if you're planning to do the festival, like take a time to kind of have one of those sit down dining experiences because it is a nice break in your day as well to kind of relax, just like regroup and have a really nice dining experience. So those are two, Via Napoli and Tepanado, I would say. Um, yes, that yes, literally we were there the night before then that opened. Like it then soft opened the very next day. I then saw that. That took the place of if you've been there in the past. that was the section that was Tokyo dining. So that upstairs area was always kind of divided into two. There was teppanyaki, which was the hibachi, and then they had Tokyo dining. So now this new restaurant, I forget what's the name of the, I can't pronounce it, but yes. So that's taken that like place that it's the front end that's yes closer to the windows that would overlook World Showcase Lagoon. So that's the one that if you sit in there, you get those gorgeous views of if you're in there for fireworks. Like that's a very nice spot. Yeah, it's yes. Oh yes, there's definitely like a lot of places that I mean we could do a whole yeah episode almost like on just talking about places that if you're looking for like a date night in Disney, like something that's more feels like a high-end experience, like you can absolutely get it. That's always whenever people say like, "Oh, is Disney just for kids?" It's like, "Oh no, like there's you look at the plethora of things that you can experience there that there's a lot of signature dining experiences, just every type of cuisine, whatever you're looking for, like you can find it on Disney property. That always amazes me as well. And California Grill is one. I have been there a couple times before, but the most recent time was probably like maybe 4 years ago. So it's been a while. Yeah, I want to get back there so bad, but that view every time just takes my breath away. Getting to see down into the park. I know also they say if you go out, like probably the side that you were dining on, so the opposite side, not closest to Magic Kingdom, when you go out there, you can actually see the fireworks from Epcot and yeah, Hollywood Studios. They're not as close as like it's just jaw dropping when you see the ones from Magic Kingdom that close, but it really like the fact that you're standing up there, you can see Spaceship Earth over at Epcot. You can actually see the top of the Tree of Life I've spotted from up there before too. Like you can just like all the property, you feel on top of the world. Like it quite literally is. You are on top of Disney World when you are there. It's something to experience. It's so cool. Yeah. My third, does it have to be in the parks as well, or can it be anywhere on property? Okay, then it's definitely the boathouse at Disney Springs. That's my go-to. The Flaming Young sliders are to die for there. They are so good. It's served with like a warm butter sauce and like it just melts in your mouth. Like you don't even need a fork or knife, like anything. It just literally falls apart, melts in your mouth. It is so amazing. Yes. So that's those would be my three currently. It changes all the time, but currently those are my three. A lot of fun. Oh yeah, we worked through all the kinks. Yeah, I think it was very good. Success. Sounds good. Good plan. Bye. Oh no. Do you, that's so frustrating. That's like just the moments when you're like, why? Why? Like, oh yeah. Sounds good. Yeah, this was fun. I think this could be a really good direction to start doing, maybe even an Instagram live or something like that. And yeah, good plan. Yes. Yes. Good plan. All right, good to see you. Talk to you soon. Bye.